Hey, Erica and her fish back here. I decided to do a video before the water change just so you can see the difference and the mess that they can make. So I feel like the other day there was a lot more poop, but it's probably moved behind those sponge filters. I do want to pull a little bit of the water out and clean the sponge filters, and then next week I'll probably do the sponge and polyfill that's in the hang on back filters. So I'll do 2 this week and 2 next week on the filter cleaning, and I'm gonna have to rake some of the sand back over to the left side because remember I had moved a bunch of it over for the crinum, and now my hill is gone. And the crinum gets knocked out like 2-3 times a week. So I had gotten some root tabs for it, but it looks better. It's actually thriving. It's got a lot of new growth, and it has grown. It's a lot of new growth down there, coming up in the middle. It wasn't taller than the filter intake on my hang on back filter, so it's grown maybe 2-3 inches in height. So I'm actually going to move it over a little bit too because the leaves are hitting the glass. And just kind of hang the hornwort back up. There's a loose Java fern leaf I need to glue back down. I need to get this poop out, move the sand, do a 75% water change, and we'll be good to go here. My pothos. I think when I first started it was maybe around this height, so it is doing good. I have concluded these are bladder snails that are growing in here, so this one's gonna get a good gravel vacuum cleaning, and I'm even thinking about starting the process of gravel removal so that this looks like a true quarantine tank, bare bottom, you know. I haven't found any clutches since the last one I did in the short. And I've been trying not to feed like maybe half an algae wafer once a week. And then Ruthless. These plants keep her nitrates down. I doubt they've gotten over 10. I'm going to test all of the tanks before I do their water changes. And it has been 2 weeks since she got a water change, so it's just time. And the boys. So I haven't done the testing over here, but the last week of October I did medicate them with General Cure and that EM erythromycin simultaneously. So they got General Cure and the erythromycin the first day, and then 24 hours later another erythromycin. I didn't do the water change in between. I just waited a day, and then I did the double dose of General Cure and EM erythromycin, and waited 24 hours, and then did just the EM erythromycin. And then the day after that I did a water change, about 60%, and I have left it alone. Rio still has a bump on his side that hasn't changed. Bucko has this weird markings on his tail that I thought was maybe sickness, but it's still there, so no change on that part. And regarding the snails, like, I think that the ones in here might actually be real mystery snail babies. I'm not sure, but they still really looked like limpets, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think there are like a few left in here. I know I've seen one, and it's not in the same spot, so it's moving. I did have an algae wafer, like just a small piece that I dropped in there. I have no idea if the snail got to it or if these guys got to it, but these guys definitely can sniff out an algae wafer and devour it. So other than that, everybody's getting a water change, and I will come back once my work is done. And also testing. I'm gonna test. So there is the finished product. A clean goldfish tank. I cleaned the sponge filters and got all that brown algae off of there. I added back a little bit more hornwort because all of that hornwort used to be in here, most of it, and consistently the nitrates get up to about 30, so adding a little bit more so that I can keep that at 20 and below, because that's what you want for a goldfish tank. And I was speaking about the temperature last week or 2 weeks ago. I was trying to bring the temperature down, and with that thermometer or that heater, it's supposed to come all the way down to 68, and I actually couldn't get it to go below 72. So I just took that out, and the water was running a little warm, so it's still at about 74, but I'm just not gonna mess with the temperature anymore. It is fall going into winter, so whatever their tank comes to, I guess, is just as it should be. I know some people, like myself, try to keep things stable, but I see a lot of it where people are just like, it does not matter. And honestly, I hadn't even used a heater for Monstro before this year, so I mean, there were a lot of things I really didn't worry about before that I should have been, but you know, it's a learning process. I didn't know anything when I first got her. Poor thing. But I know now. Oh, that's my betta tank test. So let me go over on that side. Here's the 20-gallon. You can see my Python actually worked as a gravel vacuum today. So I got to do a deep gravel vacuum cleaning. There was a lot of gunk in there. I added a double dose of stability just in case, just because I haven't done that in a while. You know, you disturb these things, and my tests indicate that some things are being disturbed in just a little way. So her nitrates are still around 10. She's got just a touch of nitrite though. So I'm going to do the first day dose of the bacteria, and for the 5-gallon and the 10-gallon I use Fluval Cycle. So I'm going to give her some of that, and it's actually getting pretty late, so I'm going to hold on her water change until tomorrow. She can wait, it'll be fine. And I can do another test before I do my water change. And I can retest the platy tank because, let's go over there. So I took some water before I did my water change, and then finished the water change and then did my testing. I took water from the 38 gallon and this tank, and then just now I did Ruthless's tank. And let's see, so the first set, yellow, blue, and it's actually kind of orangish red, like a crimson orange. It looks more red on the camera, but it's about 30 to 40 on the nitrates, 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite. And the platies actually had about 0.5 ammonia. Nitrite is just a little bit elevated, and about 10 nitrate. And again, that is showing up more red on the camera. Ruthless's tank is 0 slight nitrite, and then about 10 nitrate. So it's just my camera and the lighting. So I did my normal bacteria, about 5 milliliters, and then I went ahead and did 25 milliliters, which is the first dosage, like when you start up a tank. So I'm gonna test tomorrow and see if I need to do the 3 days and go from there. Not really sure what caused this spike. But those are pre-water change results. I did do 50% on all of the tanks except the goldfish, because you know they get 75%. So it's odd, but this is why you test, so you can see if anything ever goes wrong. I forgot to mention, along with the extra bacteria, I also added in a cap full of Stress Guard. I normally use API's Stress Coat Plus, which I did use, but the Stress Guard, I felt like it's just better. And then I'll test tomorrow and see what the ammonia is at. If I need prime from there, we'll see what's going on. So that's going to do it for this update. Thank you for watching. Erica and her fish. You guys stay safe.